The blow, sudden and sharp, ripped him out of the current of his obsessive thoughts. He quite literally collided with her as he tore through the morning crowd at Venice's Santa Lucia station, propelled by that blind determination that had long become his trademark, like a torpedo charged with ambitions set to explode the dull routine. In his head, thoughts spun like a maddening carousel. Palladio was a recognized genius at 30, Sansovino transformed Venice by 35. You're 32, and what have you built? Another noisy shopping mall? Master plans gathering dust in a provincial town hall? Where is your mark on history, the kind the Renaissance masters left behind? The bright Venetian spring sun dazzled his eyes, but inside, everything was cold, a paralyzing cold of doubt and the fear of wasted time. The air, laced with fresh brewed coffee, the salt of the sea, and something faintly decaying, only intensified the bitterness. The second blow struck harder, mental, not physical. She appeared before him from the chaos of the crowd, suddenly, like a mirage, or Venus herself, only born not of sea foam but of the canal's waves, swift, focused, unaware of her surroundings. He barely had time to react. Their shoulders collided with jarring force, and then came the dry, unpleasant clatter as her sleek leather tablet case hit the marble floor of the station, flipping open like a shell to reveal a glowing screen and rows of stark numbers. The clash ignited instantly, cutting through the air. "Idiot. Watch where you're going." Her voice, low and husky, like the growl of an irritated cat or the rumble of an expensive sports car, pierced through the general hum. Her eyes flashed at him, not with fear, but with a cold, honed fury, sharp as a blade. He froze, silent, offering no apology. His own mute rage at his clumsiness, at the gnawing thought of unfulfilled greatness, suddenly crystallized around her face. Just another damn obstacle, another precious second lost in this city of endless opportunities. His hand, always faster than his cautious thoughts, had already scooped up the fallen device, and his eyes, almost involuntarily, scanned the vivid screen, expecting sketches or paintings. Instead, columns of data screamed back: Biennale, installation, water shadows, production minus 750,000 euros, promotion minus 1,200,000 euros, total minus 1,950,000 euros, nearly 2 million euros. For art, his fingers clenched around the cold leather reflexively. 2 million euros could build a real city: concrete, steel, parks, plazas, things that change lives. Not these ephemeral, vanishing shadows. A sharp wave of pride and pragmatic contempt boiled inside him, needling like a splinter. Their eyes locked in that moment, generating an invisible current of tension. His gaze, hidden behind glasses, was quick, scanning. Expensive yet elegantly restrained suit, the upright posture of a trained dancer, an almost regal bearing, the faint exhaustion tucked into the corners of her eyes behind the mask of anger. A gallerist, perhaps, a high-stakes player in the art world. Her gaze, dark and deep, like a Venetian canal at night, seemed to pierce right through him. She saw it all. His disdain for the figures on the screen, the arrogance, the quiet resentment born of unrealized ambition. She wasn't waiting for an apology, she was watching for his reaction to that number. The marker of her world. The moment hung in the air, thick with everything unsaid. She snatched the tablet from his hands with deliberate precision, brushing his fingers lightly. "Thank you," she said flatly, not a trace of gratitude, just a clinical acknowledgement. But her voice had changed, losing its edge. Now it held something else. Curiosity? Regret? Or a silent challenge? And just like that, she disappeared into the crowd, leaving behind a trail of perfume, sharp, salty, and bitter, and an invisible slap across his face, and the question that now rang through him like a siren. Who was this woman who tossed around millions like loose change at a market? And why did her gaze pierce his pride so effortlessly? Emotions crashed over him like surf. The ambitious thrill of arriving in Venice had soured into frustration with the station's chaos, flared into fury at his own inadequacy, then bloomed into scorn for the seemingly easy money of the art world, and now dissolved into deep, disorienting intrigue. Those numbers, 1.95 million euros. That gaze, piercing, soul-bearing. That challenge, wordless, yet undeniable. He stood still in the crowd, his fingers involuntarily clutching the smooth body of his Mont Blanc pen inside his coat pocket, half talisman, half weapon. Call a taxi? Head to the hotel? Start the planned site survey near the Doge's palace? All his neatly laid plans collapsed in an instant. His legs, as if with a will of their own, carried him not to the exit but toward the stone steps leading down to the dark canal water. He sat on a time-worn marble block, barely feeling the chill. From his bag, he did not draw the sleek new iPad, but a battered sketchbook, its corners softened by use and its pages full of frantic notes. Next to him lay a discarded paper espresso cup, its contents cold and forgotten, with thick dregs settling at the bottom. He flipped to a blank page, popped the cap off his fountain pen in a swift motion, and, eschewing his inkwell, dipped the golden nib directly into the cup's murky sediment. The sepia stain bloomed across the pristine white page. Thoughts of master plans, the Doges, Casanova's bridge, all dissolved. Only her profile remained. The sharp line of an aristocratic jaw, the graceful sweep of hair pulled back from a high neck, and above all, that gaze. Assessing, piercing, vital, and unbearably tired, his lines hit the paper with nervous precision, driven not by calculation but by instinct. The coffee bled into the page, forming unpredictable shadows that emphasized her cheekbone, the curve of her lips, giving her image unexpected depth. He added drops of water from his bottle, mixing it into the coffee to create translucent washes and a play of light and dark. Then came the firm, deliberate strokes of the Mont Blanc, overlaying the coffee stains like a steel framework, like the reinforcement of a thought suddenly coming into focus. Who are you, stranger with a 2 million euros budget? What project lies behind those numbers? How can your ephemeral Venice possibly relate to mine, the one I dream of transforming for real? The question lingered in the air, unanswered. Was this inexplicable creative jolt a sign of something true? The first flicker of real inspiration in this city? Or already the beginning of manipulation, an unconscious attempt to capture, to process, and therefore one day use this unsettling, enigmatic figure who had crashed so violently into his life? He didn't know. He knew only this. The noisy Santa Lucia station, the destination of millions, had just become the starting point of something entirely new. A start into the unknown, under the cold, watchful eyes, drawn in coffee and ink, staring back at him from the blank page,